Shalom, shalom. First off, I'd like to say, Kal Halal, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahushai Bahashim, Rachwa Kodash, the Wada Yahweh for giving us Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, who have the 100% spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai in them. Double honors to the Connecticut elders of GMS, our big brothers. And greetings and salutations to the brothers in this country and all over the world who are prophesying in the true name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, which is none other than the power of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and anybody who are descendants from those people on their father's side. Shalom to those who are scattered abroad. I am Yahiquab. Shalom to the Akim and Aquath. Okay. So just gonna come at you with a quick show. Really stemming from a video I saw on Dabu77, him talking about basically a geomagnetic storm. That he reported this around 12 hours ago. Right now, it's 11:50. All right, Tuesday, May 18th, 11:51 p.m. Well, 11:52. And he basically made this video, Dabu77, about 12 hours ago. Like when I woke up this morning, I saw it. Basically going to like a geomagnetic storm. That's basically, geomagnetic storm is basically coming from the sun. When it sets off sun flares or big sun flares or sun heat waves from the sun. That could attack the magnetic field of the earth. And basically, with that being said, with that happening, it could bring down all the satellite communications and things of that nature, which eventually would bring down all the communications and also bring blackouts. Okay, so they're saying this event, which like I said, Dabu77 reported this maybe around this morning, to 11 o'clock this morning, and he's saying that this geo attack could happen tonight, or today or even tomorrow. That it can, and if it does, it can cause a major blackout and down all communications. So anyway, just when I was seeing that this morning, it reminded me of of course, the plagues that's coming upon Egypt. That the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, is setting upon America. Why? Because America is Egypt. All right, it's all over your media and your dollars and in your society and your beliefs and your ideology. It's all over. But the point is, again, that I'm just gonna bring out scriptures dealing with the plagues and the darkness that the Most High brought upon Egypt for letting his people go, the nation of Israel. And the Most High's people, we're in Egypt again, but that Egypt is called America. All right, and the same plagues that happened to Egypt, all right, which the locust, the firstborn of everything, every child or every person in the land dead, the Red Sea, the Red Rivers, basically, when the Lord flooded, made it red, blood rivers. Okay, all these plagues, the frogs, the locusts, the blackness, which I'm just going to cover now, is going to happen upon America. All right, and even if this, most likely the geo attack or geomagnetic attack does not happen, most likely it's something they fabricated, to push what they're going to bring anyway, because we do believe, I've seen stuff on it that they do have plan like they always plan with these events, a planned blackout. A planned blackout is definitely in the works. They talking about doing a blackout for a few years, which would make this country turn into famine and cannibalism. This country will look like the movie The Road. But anyway, let's read. I got one in Exodus, and I'm going to read Wisdom Psalm, the 17th chapter. All right, let's go right into it. All right, this is Exodus chapter 10, verse 20. It reads, "But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go." It reads, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt." All right, it says, "And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days." 3 days, okay? And that thick darkness, which we're about to read about in Wisdom of Solomon 17, was so thick that you couldn't even see light that was before you. All right, you couldn't see. If you open a flame right before your face, you couldn't see the flame. This is the darkness that we're talking about. All right, and it says, "They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings." All right. But you see, it was so dark, nobody even moved for 3 days. 3 days, it was so dark. Imagine that. That's how dark it was. When you close your eyes, you open them, you probably can't even tell the distance, the difference. That's how dark it was. All right, the Most High can do that. The thick blackness. Basically, the Lord brought a black hole on earth. All right, and the Lord says, but the children of Israel, they had light in their dwellings. All right, so it shows you that in this future blackout, which is definitely planned by your elites, they're definitely going to bring a blackout here to America, which again proves that that this is Egypt, because a blackout came to Egypt, which was brought forth by the Most High. All right, and the same thing's going to happen now in America. That's why I'm bringing out these scriptures. Same exact things. Okay. And that's not far-fetched. It's very easy to have a blackout in America. Everything you see before you is pretty much held up by satellites. Your phone systems, your communication systems, your computer, your internet, everything's everything's ran by the satellites, outside the planet Earth, and that make the system go. And again, once a magnetic field or some kind of thing interrupts it, all communications in blackout. There you go. It happens. And then there's something called like EMT attack. Okay, EMT attack, where basically all your electronics is shut down. Basically an electronic pulse, magnetic pulse will shut down all electronic machinery. Okay, so it's very easy to have a blackout here in America. All right, we're gonna go to in Babylon, we'll say, in Egypt. We're gonna go to Wisdom of Solomon 17. All right, I'm gonna read that. Okay, it reads, "For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses." See, this is the part. It says this because when you read Wisdom of Solomon chapter 17, it goes back to when this particular curse that the Most High plague the Most High put upon the Egyptians was that the darkness. I was one of the out of the 10. So we're going to read about this the darkness plague that the Most High put on Egypt, which again, like I said, the Dabu 77 set this off on my mind to do a show on it, because like I said, I have seen research shown that they will do a blackout, a planned blackout. "For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation," which was the Egyptians, they're the unrighteous men that were thought to oppress the holy nation, the nation of Israel. It says, "They being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from their eternal providence." Like I said in Exodus 10, it said that they were shut up in their 3 days, in their house, in their homes, and they moved. They stayed still for 3 days. It says, "For while they supposed to lie hidden their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil for forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions." So not only was this darkness so thick and black they couldn't see around them, but it had apparitions. They had visions, they saw things, they heard things, you know. I mean, it says strange apparitions. Okay, it says illusions or forces, like ghost figures. You know, they saw things in the night. All right. It says, for neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear. Yeah. So even stuck in a corner, which you're kind of protected in a corner, it was not going to relieve the fear that was upon you. You know, that's what the strong darkness. That's how fearful it was when the Most High put that plague upon those people. All right, that here it is, you're in a tight corner and you're still full of fear, seeing apparitions and spirits and ghosts and all these kind of things. It says, for neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. So it said, yeah, they feared every sound that they heard, you know, and they heard in the dark, and visions of visions, you know, deadly or horrifying visions appeared to them in the darkness. It says, now power of the fire might have given them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. All right. So it says that even the fire, the stars will not give them light in that horrible darkness. Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. Again, it says, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight, than the sight they saw not. All right. So, you know, the things that they were coming across and seeing in the darkness, you know, they're terrified of it. You know, the things that they're imagining, the things that they're hearing, their imagination was going crazy, especially in the dark. You know, when you walk in your house and the lights are off, you know, you start imagining things. You know, you can't help it. It's human nature, right? But it was uncontrollable. You know, what they were feeling and their fear. But it said it was what they were feeling and imagining was much more worse than what they saw, which is basically nothing, right? As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting and wisdom was reproved with disgrace. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles them from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. So here it is, you have people saying, yeah, we're going to save you from this darkness, we'll help you and all that, and here it is, you know, the people that very well said they'll help them, they're sick themselves, they're at fear, and they're being laughed at. It says, for though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being sacred with beasts that passed by, and hissing of serpents, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. So, you know, again, hearing things, all right, hearing animals, wild beasts passing by them, hissing serpents and snakes, all these things they heard. Even the air would scare them, air and any sound. For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. Okay, again, for wickedness condemned by her own wickedness, all right, is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the secures which reason offereth. And it's basically talking about what fear is. That is basically, it's a trick in your mind, you know, that goes against common sense. It says, and the expectation from within being less counted than the ignorance, more than the cause which bringeth the torment. So again, it says, and the expectation from within, which is your fears, being less, which is actually less because it doesn't exist, counted to the ignorance more. So it's counted for you to, ignorance means not to know. So it's counted more. You count more the things you don't know, which is the fear. It says more than the cause which bringeth the torment. So more than the cause that actually brought it, you know. That says, but they sleeping the same sleep that night, and which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of the inevitable hell, were partly vexed with monstrous operations, and partly fainted, their heart failing them for a sudden fear, and not looked for, came upon them. So then whosoever there fell down to straight kept shut up in the prison without iron bars, for whether it was, so that was it. I'm sorry, that was it pretty much there. Okay. That it pretty much ends from 14. But again, you know, I just wanted to read a little bit to go into, again, Dabu77 posted something about geomagnetic rays or heat coming from the sunspots basically, and or flares, and that it could probably cause interruptions in the communications, may cause a blackout, you know, things like that. So may not happen, but again, I wanted to put it out there because something like this will definitely happen. If they are blaming it on some kind of solar storm or flare, it's probably the government doing themselves. You know, I don't believe anything that comes out the government's mouth. And that's it, you know. What else? I think that's pretty much it. It's funny, right when I'm preparing the show, I see someone Resident Evil. You know, Resident Evil is about to release a movie on Netflix, the animation movie Resident Evil, and it was called part of the title is called Infinite Darkness. Infinite Darkness. So I thought that was funny. I'm starting this video on the blackout, and I'm reading some on Infinite Darkness. And out of all videos, Netflix, you know, Resident Evil, you know, because Resident Evil is tied into what's going on today as far as an outbreak or disease. Resident Evil is a game that pretty much describes what the future, what they plan, you know, which is basically to let out a man-made disease to destroy the people and to cause depopulation. And that's where we're in. We're in the midst, basically, depopulation. And that that these vaccines basically are, you know, there to depopulate, and they're doing so. You know, at our alarming rate, they're succeeding. All right. I had something else to say. I think that was pretty much it. You know. So anyway, with that, you know, what will you do? Anyway, when that day comes, the Lord will be there to protect you in the blackout, right? The men of the Lord, people that have faith, we're gonna have our lights going. We're gonna have our cars keep going, keep running with no gas. You know, the incredible power of the Lord is gonna be shown, man, on high and lower levels, man. Anyway, in all levels, I'll say. So with that, Kal Halal, Yahweh by Shema Shai by Shem Kwakadash, double honors to the apostles of GMS, double honors to Kinetic elders of the GMS. Shalom to the brothers in this country and all over the world. Shalom.